and welcome to India Community Centre's Parent Talk, a show for parents by parents. I'm your host, Vidya. Before we begin, I just want to give out some contact information for the show. Our website is indiacc.org/parent talk. The email is radio@indiacc.org. And of course, our call-in number is 510-770-1550. Don't worry if you have missed some of that because I'll keep repeating it through the show. Today's episode is Brain Games. Now, every child is born curious, but how do you make sure that instinct of curiosity is never lost? Let me tell you about an MIT study I read about recently. Two groups of 4-year-olds were shown a new toy. The toy had 4 tubes coming out of it, and each tube did something different, like squeaking or rattling. The first group of students, the first group of 4-year-olds, was shown the toy by a scientist who pretended she had never seen it before. So as she showed the toy to the kids, she pretended to accidentally pull one of the tubes and make it squeak. Then she said, "Oh wow, did you see that? Let me try to do that again." In the second group, the toy was shown by a scientist who acted like a teacher, demonstrating how the toy worked. She deliberately pulled on the tube and made the squeaking sound. Now, after the demonstration, both groups of children were given the toy to play with. Not surprisingly, all the children pulled on that first tube and laughed at the squeaking sound it made. But then something interesting happened. The children from the second group, the one who was shown the toy as a demonstration, quickly got bored with the toy. But the kids in the first group, where the researcher had shown surprise, explored the other tubes in the toy and discovered all the other hidden surprises. Why did this happen? The researchers came to the conclusion that when kids are given explicit instructions, when they're told what they need to know, they become less likely to explore on their own. Curiosity is a fragile thing. I guess the learning from this is that parents and teachers must walk a fine line between giving kids a taste of knowledge while at the same time preserving a sense of mystery and uncertainty. And while our kids may have wonderful teachers, teachers are constrained by having to deliver instruction to big batches of kids at a time, which means sometimes the delivery method can get somewhat standardized. So how do we as parents take the lead in boosting our kids' creative instincts and curiosity? If you're interested about that, then today's show is right up your alley. We're going to take a short break, and when we return, we're going to talk to parents who are actively involved in doing exactly that.
समझाने लोग आए हैं, समझाने लोग हैं, कितने दीवाने लोग आए हैं, समझाने लोग। दैरो हरम में चैन जो मिलता, दैरो हरम में चैन जो मिलता, क्यों जाते मैखाने लोग, क्यों जाते मैखाने लोग।
Welcome back to ICC Parent Talk. I'm your host Vidya. Today we're talking about brain games, or how to boost your child's curiosity and creativity. Our first guest is Raji Pingali. Raji is one of those intrepid moms whose kids have participated in a number of these enrichment activities. But today we'll be talking to her about a contest called Odyssey of the Mind, because Raji is the Odyssey of the Mind parent coach coordinator for Challenger School since 2004 and is a current board member for the Silicon Valley chapter. Welcome, Raji.
Thank you, Vidya. I'm glad to be here.
So can you give us a quick overview of Odyssey of the Mind?
Definitely. So many parents may have heard about the program. This is a program to create or foster creativity and out-of-the-box thinking. Exactly the type of curiosity that Vidya introduced today, the show about the MIT study. So this is off hands for parents and fully hands-on for the kids, meaning the kids get together in a team setting and come up or brainstorm about certain ideas given certain set of problems. Typically the Odyssey of the Mind, this was given as a challenge, actually started by Dr. Sam Michaelis, who was a New Jersey engineering professor. He was giving his engineering students a challenge to do, and then he said, why not integrate this or expand this to younger kids? So Odyssey of the Mind can be started as early as kindergarten, and it goes all the way up to college level. And depending on your grade, it has different divisions. You start as a primary division for kindergarten to second grade, then move on to third grade to fifth grade as division 1, and then to the middle school level as division 2, then high school level as division 3, and college as division 4. And the earlier you start, the better the kids learn the program or learn about how to survive in the real world, because real world is not about spoon feeding them. So they have to learn everything on their own, and it's a very great experience. As a parent, I have found that my kids are enriched thanks to this activity particularly, and they can make their own decisions. They can think through a problem in a very creative way. So there is no right or wrong solution for any given problem. To give a short synopsis of the different set of problems, they have every year 5 problems. The first one is a vehicle problem. They have to build a vehicle. So it combines the engineering skills and the technical skills, and they always have to present the solution as a team in a very humorous skit. And the second problem is a technical performance, which combines the performance capabilities along with the technical building abilities. The third problem is a classics, based on classics, and it can range from Shakespearean classics to the modern day classics, and it has to be twisted or spun around a classics problem. And the fourth one is again a building and an engineering problem, which is to build a structure with balsa wood. Balsa wood, as many of you might know, is a very, very strong wood, and it's very light wood, so it can hold a lot of weight. The challenge is to build a simpler structure which can hold a lot of weight. And the fifth problem is purely a performance problem. You can build stuff in terms of props and other equipment needed, and your costumes as well. But mainly the focus is on a humorous skit and how to perform. And of course, the sixth problem is for the primary kids, which is for the younger ones. And we have regional level, the state level, and then the world level. The world level invites all the teams that have advanced to that level from different countries. As Odyssey of the Mind is spreading to many countries, it's expanding. It's an ever-expanding program.
Okay, so this sounds really fascinating. As a parent of a child who actually participated in Odyssey of the Mind once, I do know how interesting it is and how graded it is for the different ages. But for our listeners, can you tell us what is the first thing you need to do before you go about starting a team? I mean, how do you go about it?
First thing is to get together with a few like-minded parents, I would say. If your kid is playing or have a play date with other kids, get together with the other parents and see if they would be interested in getting the kids forming a team. So that would be the first step. So once you do that, every team requires an adult coach. And there are a lot of resources out there in terms of the website and coaches training So the parent who has never done this is encouraged to go and attend the coaches training, which is coming around the corner. In fact, the Silicon Valley chapter's coaches training is next Saturday. So you can go to their website, register as a coach, and they will explain everything. The one thing about this program, which is very different from other programs, is this is totally hands-off for the parents or coaches, or there is absolutely no outside assistance, meaning the coaches are acting or the parents are acting as resources to get them together, and maybe a project manager as a project manager, but not really doing any of the thinking for them. So they need to get together. So the first step I would say is get together with your friends, your child's friends and the parents, and then form a team and then register them and go from there.
So Raji, what we'll do at the end of the show, since we have a lot to cover, is that maybe on the website, indiacc.org/parent talk, you can help us put up some resources for parents to click on and find out what more they need to do, what is the next step. I'm sure there are websites that provide a lot of information about
Definitely, we will link them to the website.
And does the team have to be school-based? Does it have to be all kids from the same school?
That's a very good question. Yes, there are two different types of teams. One is school-based, for which all the children have to be part of the same school. And the other type is if they do not, if they cannot form a team from the same school, there is another option which is called the community group. So your child may be part of an existing community group, for example, a church, maybe India Community Center. In fact, there is a team for the past 4 years from India Community Center where the students come from different schools, but they have been participating actively in the Odyssey of the Mind. So that is another option.
So folks, hopefully we've whetted your appetite to learn a little more about Odyssey of the Mind. We've heard from a parent, and we're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we're going to talk to a child who has participated in